Rengar is going to be picked right here by Mega Esports. That gives them a lot of flexibility, especially against Nakali. Whenever Kali is already a problem in the later parts of the game, Rengar can always pop up the thrill of the hunt to spot out where Akali will be, and they can go for the kill. But let's see how Omega Esports will be responding to this Riven and Akali. Those are flex picks so far. Renekton.
Yeah. Now you have Nami being hovered. Renekton, as I said, will most likely go over to Horizon. When it comes to dueling, he is definitely one for the top ranks there. Now you have J4 being locked in for Jamie's Esports. Again, we usually see this combo, J4 and then a Corki. Who will be the support for Jamie's Esports? Could be Senna, could be Brom. I was about to say Nami, but already got picked up by Omega. Now you have Oriana, which likely will be going over into the mid lane, and Garen for the last pick.
All right. So another interesting lineup right here for Mega Esports. We don't really know who's going to go for the mid right here. Is it Renekton or is it Garen? So that was something. But for sure, Akali will go to Pego. He is a very strong assassin player. His Akali is scary. His Fizz is scary. Fizz is not going to be picked right here. So I think Pego will go for that Akali. And here is the adjustments right here. So Renekton will go to JLC. So I guess that's a mid Renekton. Am I right, Yuko?
Yes, it is. I thought Arena was gonna go over to the mid lane, but nope. Omega said, "Yuko, Leoric, your thoughts are wrong. We are gonna run the APC, ADC, Oriana, and then Garen will be at the mid." Well, GLC did mention this earlier in the interview. Omega without GLC, they will be lacking a frontline or a tank because, to be fair, Horizon he wants those damage type Baron laners. Impressive is all about assassination as well, which is why he did pick up this Rengar. Now you have Riven is gonna go up against Renekton for the Baron lane side, and yeah. Pretty standard picks here for Jamie's Esports and Omega. They still want to try something new even in day number 3.
Yeah, Garen is gonna be mid right here, going up against Akali. JLC did mention this earlier. They don't really have a tank mid, so that's why he's playing it. He was very honest. It's just that Lloyds are very honest. My name is not Lloyd.
I see what you did there, Leoric.
But then again, Oriana and Nami on the on the DR lane. This is going to be interesting. They're gonna go up against. Hold that thought. There's the fight already starting.
Yep. Now, again, this is just game number 1. The usual pokes, you have the Baron laners lurking into the mid lane just to get a bit of a CC. Time lapse apparently is in the mid lane. So Garen is now in the dragon lane. I'm so confused. What a way to start our day. But here it is again. What a treat being brought to us by Omega Esports. You have Corki alongside Lulu, just gonna take out the ward in that area. Early game, of course, Corki will be quiet, will not be jumping in with the rather the aggressive plays. But at the very least, this is the opening for Omega with the ebb and flow and maybe even catch the bubble. Not sure if GLC will have enough damage for the early game though, but they pretty much have to stay.
Yeah, we did send out a disclaimer to everyone that it is going to be very hard to predict the lanes, and there it is, Garen on the DR. I would have loved for Senna to come up. We would have been able to see this, but it is what it is. Nami and Garen, they are gonna have a tough time here on the bottom lane. But it is Thur who took a lot of chunk damage right there, so he will be forced to go back home. So far so good for Mega Esports. On the top lane though, Arisen taking a lot of beating from Ryuken, but he's still okay. He will wait for that power spike that he has also to really even up the lane.
Yeah, and again, this is the early game power or the early game ahead of a Riven. Can just jump in with the combos and possibly stop a snowball from Renekton. But Horizon, he knows this, which is why he is not playing that aggressive. You also have Impressive just taking out the side jungle just to get more EXP onto his side. The minions will be reaching in the turret, and looks like Horizon will be able to just have will be ahead in terms of the minion weight. That is the bait jumping, flagging another onto one. Red team being able to get first, but Dami saying goodbye. Have flash coming through from DLC. Of course, Captain is being popped as well. Double kill going over to Leira, but look into the Baron line. You have a flash in from Impressive. Auto attacks here and there, and that is to be the revenge kill going over to Omega.
Yeah, fast-paced Wild Rift coming off the gates right here, and it is like Jamie's Esports is looking dominant right now. They know that the weak side is DR lane, so they focused on that instead. And let's check back onto the scene of the crime as Garen is already here. But what happened earlier is that Jarvan 4 went in. We know that Corky will deal a lot of damage and Thor did a lot of damage onto Stronger. He got focused. Jarvan 4 was just perfect on that flank, takes him down, and then Garen had no way to escape. He also went down. Good thing, though, for Omega Esports. Rengar was already at the top side. Impressive. They know that is their win condition. Snowball Horizon in the later parts of this game, and they should have an easy breeze on their win. So that's what they did, and they got the top side.
5 point strike has been used there in the mid lane, but Tynap still will be able to give space. And when Trick and Flip is not going to connect as well, he does have the shockwave, but I don't think he will commit it just with the 1v1s. Omega would want that ultimate to be available just in time for the Dragon or Repair take, which these two objectives will be up in 21 seconds. It is going to be vision given. Arise almost being caught out by Lara there. Ryuken jumping his way back. Looks like Jamie's Esports, they would want to just focus on the Rift Herald.
Yes, definitely. That's something that you can give out, but it is a fine. There is a fine line right there. Are you going to be giving up the Cloud Drake for a Rift Herald? Looks like Omega Esports is already here, and I think this is going to be a big fight, Yuko.
It is going to be a big fight indeed. Now you have Lara having first dibs into the Dragon. Omega, they're still holding their ground. You have Ilske at the front line. He does have the Dimashan. Just that it's been just about popping through. You have the tidal wave being popped. Cloud Dragon saying goodbye. Now that is going to be impressive in the middle of everything. Lara now on a killing spree. Garen being bursted down. And it is a 2-0 in favor of Jamie's.
That was a good tidal wave right there by Stronger, but it wasn't enough. But there's still action happening right now.
They still are. Call of the Mill is going to connect. The stuns are going to come through. But sadly, Arisen does not have Ignite. A jump in, a flash in, ebb and flow, shield, 5-point strike. And that is the Twilight Shroud being used by Pegu. And he is still alive. A lot of resources already being used. But the mid laner for James is still pretty healthy. But you know who is not healthy? Lara, because he's being targeted by JLC. Now they have the flag and drag being popped. Of course, Honeyfoot will be there to just give him some help. Recalls are gonna come through. They're under turret. No main wave. So it looks like Omega Esports cannot dive. Again, DLC does not have the flash as well. Impressive does have the flash, but I don't think he's gonna commit in that skirmish.
Yeah, Jamie's Esports is ticking all the box right now to win this game. Their early game, they are on point. They got the Cloud Drake in this game. That is going to be trouble. Jarvan 4 will have an easier time to really rotate all around. Also, Pego, you know that an Akali is very slippery, and with the Cloud Drake in their pockets, he's just going to be a bit more slippery right at the top.
GLC being boxed in. It's not even a 2v1. Now you have Lara being able to get that kill. I want to see the KDA of Lara so far because I have to say this J4 is having a beautiful early game.
And that's what we mentioned earlier. Jarvan 4, Lyra will have an easier time to rotate in the map to help the lanes because of that Cloud Drake. Rift Herald was taken by Jamie's Esports also. So that's another tick on the box. The only thing that they haven't checked just yet is the first turret of the game. If they get that, they will be it will be bad news for Omega Esports. Let's see what Omega Esports will be doing to at least get the first turret of the game at this point. At the top side fight.
Dimasha being called out by JLC, by the Scarin, but Ryuken will just be able to jump his way into safety. Now you have Impressive being able to pick up Triforce. Pings are going all over the map. Looks like they want to have a little fight into the Dragon Lane. This is 5-point strike. Also have the Dominus being popped by Arisen, but he was forced to flash out here. Count pop big. You have Impressive to the sides. You have the tidal wave, so Omega Esports, they can initiate whenever they want, but I don't think they would want to because their frontliner, one of the frontliners, Arisen, is gonna go back to the base again. Pego being able to roam around the map safely.
Yes, I just want to mention Jarvan 4 that has a 4-0-1 KDA. So his itemization, look at that. He has already finished the Humus Ghost Blade, and he is going to be crazy in the later parts of the game. This will be a painful one. He doesn't need to go for attack right now as they're ahead of the game, but there's going to be the Kali caught right here.
Tidal wave, jump in, flash in, and Pego saying goodbye. That was a very good pickoff from Omega Esports. Also, to retract to what you said Lara will be crazy in the latter parts of the game. I mean, he's kind of crazy now. four
Right.
zero out of 5 kills that Jamie Esports has. But looks like you have Omega. Arrested Impressive will just try to get that turret into the Dragon Lane side. GLC still being able to defend his lane. That is just coming through from Lulu. Has the capacity being popping up knockout after knockout, but the bubble, the shields wouldn't be enough. It's been no because now Lyra is unstoppable, being able to burn down this kitty cat. Impressive.
Yeah, they tried to save the crocodile right there on Horizon, but yeah, it wasn't enough. The damage from Lyra, once again, is just too much, and that will even out. They were able to, Omega Esports were able to kill off the Kali earlier, but this time they got to pick off onto Horizon, and now Infernal Drake is already alive, and they are here fast. Another check mark on Jamie's Esports. To win this game, you have to be proactive in this game, and there is going to be a fight right here. I think so.
Yeah, Impressive wanted to go with the steal, but Jamie's Esports damage was just too much. Now that's the BJLC being able to put a significant amount of damage onto Ryuken. Man, that damage was nutty though. Now you have the Valkyrie being popped by Corky. Can I just say though, 8 minutes in, third is still pretty much untouched. So Jamie's Esports, they have a good early game. Mid game is also pretty stable, and I'm pretty sure they have a good insurance for the late game.
Yeah, the only thing that they did not get in the early game really is the first turret of the game. But with this headbutt, that bottom turret will be a bit more softer. Let's see if Pego will be able to finish this off. Alright, it isn't gonna be, it's in the air. Oh no! Oh man, that's a kill right there. We missed that one. Sorry about that.
It's fine, no problem. That is going to be the burn and the dimension justice being committed by JLC, and it was so worth it because it bursted. Revenge down that we've got to the connect. You have the orb being thrown out. Akali saying goodbye. Arise and being able to get that kill. Now he has no choice but to use Flag and Jag to get away. Arise and having so much damage, even though he used both of his summoner spells.
Yeah, and just like that, ladies and gentlemen, look at that. Omega Esports is back in this game. They are now up in the gold count, and with that third take at the top side, they will be ahead even more. Jamie's Esports will try to go for a chase, but you cannot chase a Garen, so they just get out. Well played by Omega Esports. They're now sliding towards the mid. Impressive has the ultimate right here casted, so he knows where everyone is, and they're sliding on the bot lane.
Yeah, either they want to go with the wave or clear the wave, or they want to get assassination in, but looks like they're just gonna focus on the scuttler and then just push the waves in from the Dragon Lane. Even though is alone in the brown lane side, Jamie's Esports, they could go with the 1-3-1 or just go in with the 4-1 setup, but the Dragon Lane duo from the red team will just try to get the turret at the mid lane.
And this just tells you a lot about the maturity of Omega Esports. Rift Scuttler, you need that to really control the aggression of Jamie's Esports. They know that Jarvan 4 is already very fast, considering that Jamie's Esports has the Cloud Drake, so they really need everything right now to control the map. And Rift Scuttler is one of those keys, so they got the bottom Rift Scuttler right away. They have good warding onto the Baron pit, so they are doing good so far to recover in this game, and they're very successful at this point. Again, they're up 1k, but they are down 2 dragons already, and these are important dragons, the Cloud Drake and Infernal Drake. So pressure is on still on Omega Esports, Jamie's Esports side. If they drag this into the later parts of the game, those dragon buffs are going to be benefiting them a lot in the team fights.
Well, that's true, but if you're gonna look at the turret takedowns, Omega Esports, they already took down 3 turrets, whereas Jamie's, they're still yet to get their first blood turret. But jumping back into the game though, Baron is already up. There is a ward being placed by Jamie's Esports there, just to provide some vision if ever Omega will want to have first dibs on this dragon. Still a pretty steam, but you know what? I was just kidding. There was a root, there was a Dimension Justice, and Ryuken still being caught out by Omega Esports. -1 for Jamie's.
Justice has been served, and Ryuken doesn't like it at all. He is already down, and that is bad news for Jamie's Esports. It looked like they had the early game already, but Omega Esports showing you the composure of a champion right here, the aggression, the rotation, the macro game right now, especially in the mid part of the game, is onto Omega Esports side, and they're taking control all over the game at this point. Map control at this point is onto them also, as the dragon is already spawning, but this is James Esports. The dragon rotation is always on point.
seems to me that Omega Esports want to get a fighter XP title with connecting, but only connecting onto one. Now, Jamies, they are still holding their ground. They do not want to pull the trigger just yet. They're probably waiting for time lapse to use the shockwave, which he has not. I have not seen a good shockwave from time lapse just yet,
Mhm.
but it just goes to show how well Jamies Esports can count the cooldowns of the skill streak. In fact, we're still not going to connect. I have time lapse throwing out the orb.
Oh.
Ooh, the command attack did hurt Papa Pig a lot, but still not enough to burst him down.
And but it is enough to push away Jamie's Esports from this pit. And now they're starting and they're chasing.
That is gonna be Broken Winds being used by Ryuken. He already used Flash, by the way, so looks like that is gonna be something Omega Esports will be got to take note of. Now they're boxing the dragon in, making sure James Esports will not be able to contest, and that is gonna be the Ocean Drake going over to Omega, rotating over to the mid lane. Will they get the mid lane? Looks like they want to get a kill onto Ryuken, but JLC said let's just focus on the turret and then jump back.
Love it from Omega Esports. They have the advantage in the poke departments, courtesy of time lapse on that Oriana, and they used that perfectly. They used that patiently. They didn't go for the fight. They want to poke things out, and they were winning it. And because of that, they were able to really get Papa Pig's HP bar down to a point that Jamie's Esports could not really engage them, and they won another round in this game. 49k to 46k. That's 3k gold lead on the side of Omega Esports, and it's still slowly going up. Omega Esports in control.
Yeah, and slowly but surely, the kill count will be even as well. Ryuken is gonna be stunned. He cannot do anything about this. He even got silence as he be killing spree going over to impressive. This duo always hunts for Riven. I kind of feel bad for Ryuken at this point.
They know that Ryuken is going to go for split push pressure right here because they're already down. That is how you spread out on a team that is in the advantage, and that's how you try to hold that thought. There's going to be a fight.
That judgment was just too much for Pego to bear. He will use Shuriken Flip to be able to dash his way out of there. But now here comes the other members of Jamie's Esports. They are poking. That is to be a jump in for Pego. 5-4 connecting on to time. That is to be the title wave being used as well, connecting on to no one. Corky the first to say goodbye, but that shockwave hurts a lot. That is to be another kill going over to Omega. Now Jamie's Esports down with two champions. Will they be able to go with the steal? You have Layer at the side, but he actually got met by this Garen. Judgment yet again. Tied out with the free hits. GA being popped. Omega being able to get the Baron. Now you have Flash coming through from Lyra. Ryuken cannot even join the fight.
And that is why JLC said the Omega team needs a tank, and he has the perfect role for it. And you saw that earlier. Jarvan 4 tried to go in for the steal, and JLC being the good tank for Omega Esports. Just a raid boss right now is perfect on those zones, and now they got the Baron buff. They even got a solo kill once again onto Ryuken. Ryuken is not enjoying this game at all.
When the cat scratcheth, the kill giveth. That's basically what's happening to Impressive right now. And yeah, you are right. The Jamies would want to go with the 4-1 setup, which is why Omega, they just keep on shutting Ryuken down. The fact that he will not be able to get much EXP, much gold from the minions because he is usually taken down, but you know who could be taken down as well? Papa Pig. That is a bit of stuns connecting onto Pego. Pego could not even take the damage coming through from Garen. What more from Oriana? The roots are not gonna connect, but Omega, they are knocking onto the base of Jamie's East, but it's be another try from Omega. You have Pego looking for the next possible target. 5% already being used. Broken Wings being used by Ryuken as well. You have the title win being sent out. Shillings be going over to JLC. Now you have the Flack and Jack connecting onto Arisa, but it's not going to be enough. Cataclysm already used. Now you have the Thunder Shot being popped as well. Is he going to try to juggle the 2v1? He was able to get one, but at the expense of what? At the expense of their own life. Now you have Omega with the engage just in the front line. Sustain coming in from Nami is just too much. And the match just being popped. Rapids going over to DLC. Papa Big saying goodbye. Double kill for time lapse. Make that a killing spree going over to Oriana. Now Ryuken the only one left to defend the base. Lots of shutdown onto the game, but looks like the turret from Jamie's Esports will be cleaned out by Omega.
Omega Esports takes a 4 for 3 trade right here. They did lose a lot of champions, but they clean out the base on Jamie's Esports side. There is going to be here, so I don't think the push is going to be completed. Shockwave right there as an icing to the cake by time lapse, but there it is. Half HP on the Nexus. Omega Esports will just disengage, but what a big paycheck they got because of that strong push. They're now up 11k in this game. Jamie's Esports, welcome to exactly where you don't want to be at this point. Omega Esports, they are firing on non-cylinders right now. They are going to be resetting for a bit. They will want to wait for this Elder Drake, or they can go for pick-offs. They have full control of the game. They can force a fight out and win this game straight on. All right, so there it is. Jamie's Esports will go turtle up. The Elder Drake is already here. Omega is in the area. Jamie's Esports, good attempt right here on dropping a ward for the vision. Ryuken, Lyra is in the area. I know what his plan is. He is planning a thief of attempt right here, but Omega Esports, they know better. They're gonna go for the pressure onto the Nexus. Akali already dead. As Pay go out, Omega Esports is gonna be pouring in 1,200 on that Nexus. Omega Esports will try to brute force their way in, but they're gonna be failing, and they will fail bad. That's two champions dead on Omega Esports side. Jamie's Esports is starting to do recovery right here, but the Elder Drake is going to be taken by the support. Nami with that take. This is Omega Esports play still. Let's see. Jamie's Esports, what can they do at this point? That Nexus is already very juicy for Omega Esports, but Omega Esports showing you the patience. They did try to go for an attempt for a brute force win right there, but they're evening it out with an Elder Drake play. That shows you the maturity of Mega Esports once again. Right there, right here, defending the base. That is going to be very, very hard for Jamie's Esports. Remember, all the lanes have already been taken down. So the waves are just going to be keeping on pushing in. But if Jamie's Esports can still extend this into the late game, that will give them added advantage. Remember, when the waves are pushed in, it is you who is farming the creep wave, so that's more gold for you. And look at that. Because of that, the gold lead of Omega Esports has been shrunk down to 7k. Furthermore, if Jamie's Esports can drag this later, they will be evening out the gold count. Let's see though, Omega Esports knows about that, so they don't want that to happen. They're already on to the Baron. Look at that raid boss right there. They cannot put a dent on JLC. Remember, that was 4 versus 1, and JLC is half HP still. Baron is already taken down, and this is Jamie's Esports falling one by one right now.
True, now that is the VPego saying goodbye, but Omega, they're still jumping in. Arise in the front line. Papa Pig saying goodbye, and this could be the winning moment for Omega Esports. They're gonna focus on the Nexus and then get game number 1.
Omega Esports